Hello and welcome back to anxious moments for me, but you know, these are the adventures of a kidney donor. I'm sitting in the car here with my Good Samaritan Deanie. You've met her before in the other video, and now she's back helping me, taking me to my car, which has now been released by biosecurity and customs and whatever, but I do need to get an inspection. So we're gonna go meet Globelander. You know I've been missing her so much. So I'm really excited. It's like I'm going to meet my lover that I haven't seen I'm not even this excited when I meet my wife after 3 months. But that's a different episode. But let's talk about my car, and that's where I'm going right now. So let's hope she's in good shape. We've got to do a few things to get her started, and that's next.
I know how much this car means to you.
And that's why you're doing this?
That's why I'm doing this, and to help someone else from the transplant community.
As you can see, it's a cloudy day, and it's raining and drizzling. It had to be today. We had some great weather till now. Now that I have to stay outside, get my batteries going, put the air filter in, put the cabin air filter in, fill the air in the tires of the back. All this is outdoor work. But hey, I don't care. As long as I get to be in my car and drive it, because I have a sense of freedom with it. The freedom to go wherever I want. I may go nowhere, but at least I know I can. And we're here. This is where we're going to, the Universal Customs Brokers. Remember, you saw this in our previous video of us coming over here. But this is where she is. Look at her. I missed you. Okay, someone's got to open this door. Yay! Here she is. She's made a journey of 17 countries to be here in Perth, Australia. This is the customs bonded warehouse where I've been waiting for her. So she's been through biosecurity, and the washing, remember we have a washing video from Uruguay on how much we had to do to keep this thing clean to pass biosecurity, and still not sure if it will work. It worked! I was preparing to pay another $600. That's what they charge, by the way, if it's not clean enough. But it didn't come through. That is the happiest moment of my life. But anyway, come on in, let's see how we can get this started. So this is where we disconnected the battery, so we make sure that it don't drain. Let's see if my two left thumbs can work this out. And get her ready to exit this gate and get on her way. What a lovely view. Doesn't she look gorgeous? The truck came in a container that size and was loaded by a truck this size over here. This is Emilio. Now he's all dressed up in formals, but the guy gets his hand dirty. Emilio is the person who helped me clear this car, clear Globelander. And I wanted to ask him a few questions because obviously I wasn't present when all of this was being done, but this is for the benefit of those that always wonder what happens in Australia. Because we get horror stories before we leave to send our ship into the country, and then after that, the biggest threat or fear would be biosecurity guys. Now, tell me how that worked out here. I mean, why was it easier for me to come to you than to have done this myself?
Well, I think, in Australia we've got a lot of red tape, so as in customs, quarantine, border force, x-rays, fumigation requirements. So it's easy to go to a broker, as you did, and they'll reach out, and obviously we're able to sort out the pre-clearance for you, gave you all the requirements, attended on to the carnet, had the carnet signed off by customs. Obviously we then attended to the quarantine side for you, and arranged the quarantine entry to allow it to move it to our quarantine approved area, then arranged to unpack it, and obviously here you are today picking it up. So we try to streamline the process so it makes it easier for an importer.
Now the checking in itself.
Yep.
Now, I went crazy cleaning this car up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How did it work for here? Did they check? And
Absolutely. Yeah, biosecurity are really quite one of the I mean, customs in itself are difficult, but biosecurity another step, because obviously, diseases, we've got stink bug, we've got all sorts of diseases that we try to prevent, especially for our farmers.
No, I know why they do it.
Yeah.
But in terms of standards, did I meet the standards?
Absolutely. Yeah. And they had a look at the car underneath, inside, and they were 100% happy that it was someone had cleaned the vehicle and it was cleaned to Australian conditions, and that's why he released it. So, which was, a positive for us, because obviously, in the condition I think I saw some of the cleaning that needed, it would definitely have failed.
And if it had failed, what would have happened?
So what happens is, if it fails, we get a quarantine direction, a movement direction. That movement direction allows us to move it in an enclosed vehicle from our premises to the cleaning facility. Then we get into a queuing system. So we could be probably delayed up to about a week to 10 days on the cleaning. Once it's cleaned, quarantine then come back and re-inspect it. If it's still not passable, they'll fail it again and ask the depot to re-clean it. So this could, every time that they fail it, or every time that they it doesn't meet the standards, it's additional cost. So the cleaning is generally on an hourly basis. So in our circumstances, we avoided all of that by and yourself making an initial phone call of what we needed to do, where the problem areas for cleaning, where dirt does get up, certain areas of the vehicles, radiators, engines, underneath, that's all they intended to. So quarantine will happen.
So your advice would certainly be prepare before you come in, do your best.
100%. Otherwise, expect extra cost, expect delays, and those sorts of costs we can't avoid. And they can be costly. So,
well, all in all, I guess, how many days did this take?
I think it was relatively, other than obviously when it initially came in, I think we kept you in the loop, but we had a customs border hold on it, which is pretty standard for a lot of either first time importers or temporary imports. This was under a carnet, so it triggers what country it's been from, and obviously they profile it, they put an X-ray hold on it, and they do their manifest checks, and then they do an X-ray on it, which was exactly what happened in your case, and then they released it. But from our point of view, I suppose within 7 days we had it all pretty much.
So that's pretty quick, isn't it?
Pretty quick. If we've got everything in place and we know what we've got to do and we're pre-clearing it, it's a pretty good result,
So that's 7 working days, right?
7 working days.
Right.
So if we factor into that 3 of those days were taken with border hold, we're actually talking at UCB probably a minimum of 4 days.
4 days. That's for biosecurity to come and take a look.
Biosecurity, us to unpack it, return the empty container, and have the car presented to you today.
Well, good, and clearly I'm quite happy to have the car back,
Yeah,
so I can get underway. But thank you very much, Emilio, for
thank you for the business.
for
I appreciate
being with us since we first met through another overlander. So obviously,
Yeah,
I'm going
exactly.
to pass on the good work for anyone that wants to use a customs broker.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Much appreciated.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Now that the chat with Emilio is done, it's time for me to get her out and to the inspection place. So we're going to be met by 2 strangers, absolute strangers, but overlanders who are agreed to help me out because they've been helped by many strangers in their overlanding journeys, just like we have. We've met some really cool people, and I'm looking forward to meeting Justin. I'm not sure if his wife Jennifer is going to show up, but they're going to come and, well, basically handhold me a little bit. I'm looking forward to that next. This is Justin.
Hello.
Justin, tell me quickly, how'd you end up here? Why?
Well, we travelled around the world from 14 to 17 in our car, and lots of people helped us. And I know that Australia is not so easy to navigate the system here. it's actually quite simple, the paperwork, but most of these institutions, they're not used to foreign vehicles. So of course when you come in and say, oh, I'm here with a foreign car, they are confused and it's too hard. So we try to make it a bit easier for you, because I know it's the start of your journey, your car's here, you're all excited.
I'm
The
very
last
excited.
thing you want to do is deal with this.
And
So we'll give you a
did you
hand.
go to India?
Not that trip, but I have been there.
Okay.
And that's Jennifer.
Hey, how you doing?
That's his wife, and
Okay.
my angel's
all right.
here.
Important stuff now.
Okay, so you've got all your paperwork,
Yeah.
you've got the carnet of passage and all the rest of it. Okay, he's done this a lot because he's the closest inspection centre to the port.
Yeah.
So he said he's more than familiar with what he's got to do. So he's happy, it's all good. So he's just going to set it up and then you'll take the car in and he'll inspect it.
Okay. So
Great.
what's next? I take it in?
Yeah, he'll let you know when he's ready. But main thing is just that you've got all your carnet paperwork and he's good to go.
And Jennifer,
Yes.
tell me, is this the reason you're here is you're helping a fellow overlander, right?
Yes, that's correct.
But I think there's a bigger reason.
Yeah, because we've travelled overland ourselves some years ago now, which is sad. We'd like to have done still be there doing it. But yeah, we obviously had a lot of people that didn't know us at all and were prepared to go out of their way to help us, and we like to pay it forward and help other travellers in the same way.
Well, see, we both have the same thinking. So the reason I said there's a higher reason that this is happening is because I think you need to overland in India, and where we can be your hosts.
We would love to do that. I've travelled in India many years ago, just for a couple of
But
months.
not with a vehicle.
But not with the vehicle. I've always wanted to go back to India.
Well, if
So we
you
will
don't want-
be doing that. So.
if you don't want to bring your own vehicle, you're welcome to use mine.
Oh, well,
Not
that's
this one.
fabulous.
I have another one in India, which is India
this
legal.
one's good.
Look, that's very kind of you. We appreciate that, and we will probably take you up on that because it is something on our wish list.
But first thing today, we get you on the
you
road.
sorted out and get you travelling and get you enjoying
Awesome.
Australia.
Let's do this. Turn the
Okay.
camera off and do some work. Huh?
Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
This is where we are at the PEPCO authorized inspection station, authorized by the Department of Transport. This is where they're going to make sure that this car is roadworthy / whatever else they're going to look at. And from here we've got to go where?
From here we go to a licensing centre, and then you just pay the third-party licensing fee, which is compulsory in Australia, which means if you hit a pedestrian, you're covered for that. But it doesn't cover you if you run into another car with only that insurance. You're liable for that damage. So,
Okay.
but you must pay the compulsory third party for people that you might injure. And then from there, we'll then try and organise you some cover for the car as well.
Yeah, that would be a good idea to have some cover for the car or somebody else's car we killed.
That's the
This is where we're getting the inspection done, and that light's working on the brake side. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's got brakes. Yeah.
We're still not fully legal here. We're just looking at the last step. But in the meanwhile, Justin is bringing me to an ARB store. This is like a toy store for guys like us, because you have everything here and it's local pricing. You know, we have to import all of this to the rest of the world. It jacks up the price for us. But look at this car. This is just like a regular SUV, but now it looks like he's going to go to the moon next.
You go in here with a lot of money and you come out with a lot less money. And Neil,
How you doing?
He's just shipped his US plated Land Cruiser in, which is out the front, 200 series, to drive around the country for a few months. He's raising.
We're checking out on some parts to make Globelander Africa ready. So these are all the ARB fridges. What you call the sand tracks. Popular brand is Max Tracks, but here we have Tread Pro. Oh my god, I can have every one of this stuff. It's just torture. You know you can't afford it, but I'm just letting you see the kind of products that are here. Now these look like tanks, water tanks, storage bins. That's a water tank with a pump. That's 700 Australian dollars. We're in Justin and Jennifer's home now. You talk about angels and good Samaritans. They are overlanders that want to give back, as you heard him say. And now we're at his house. This is where he works. What work does he do? He builds campers. Can you imagine that? He builds campers for a living, and this is his shop. What he's going to help me do now is change my engine oil, because we couldn't get an appointment anywhere. And he does have a pit at home, so he can go down and do the engine oil change. He said he'll help me out. Now that's what you call an angel. And that's the pit. Little blender is right over it. The oil change happens here. The engine is squeaky clean from washing it out there in Uruguay.
Chemcel's fairly easy to service.
That's coming out from there.
Maybe you should take it right off.
We found this battery terminal a little loose, and a few things that were wrong that could have caught on fire, and Justin is just a little anal about these things, so he says, I can't let you go. I'm going to fix it before you take off. So he's keeping me busy and himself busy. And Justin, what's going on here?
I'm not happy.
Why?
Because it needs Justin's touch. Justin's not happy that it's right. So Justin won't let the car go because I'm not happy with the way some of the wiring is in here, and you've got a long drive in the back blocks of Australia. So we're going to fix it.
Well, we have a name for you.
Yeah.
And Jennifer.
Oh yeah.
It's just a simple name. It's just we have a whole list of them now.
Oh yeah.
So now you're the Aussie Angels.